Hey, Facebook Live. Let the crowd build up. Just gonna kind of sit back here and wait for the crowd to build in. As always, we wait for 1,000 people. So I will wait for 1,000 people. As always, that's what we do. So right now we have about 29. I'm sure we'll get to 1,000 within the next couple of minutes. Hope you guys are staying warm and safe. And tomorrow's, oh, there we go. We're at 2.6. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not going to be with you long tonight. It's Sunday night. Again, I did not do the walk and talk earlier today. And the reason being is because we went out and we cut down our Christmas tree. And I'll get to that at the end. I want to talk to you right now about what happens tomorrow with the electors. All right? Before I actually get into some of the nitty gritty, I want to walk you back a little. All right? When the election was set to take place 2 weeks before. It was on a Sunday or a Monday, I can't remember exactly. But on that Sunday and Monday, I had said to you, tomorrow the media is going to start telling you that Donald Trump cannot win the Electoral College. And the reason being was because Donald Trump had gone like this in the polls. He had gone from being behind to breaking it even. And he was about to turn it to being ahead. And I said to you during a walk and talk, for those of you who have been with me for a while, you'll remember it. I said, tomorrow they will tell you he cannot win the Electoral College. The very next day, that was the narrative the entire day. How did I know that? I knew that because I've been in the media for a very long time. All right, I have been behind those closed doors. I understand how they think, how they operate. I understand the talking points. I understand how the narrative is driven. I understand that a little tweak here and a little tweak there, and all of a sudden the truth gets lost. What happened was, for 2 weeks, they tried to sell the American people on the fact that Donald J. Trump could not and would not win the Electoral College. The experts, the people who get paid to go on television, to write articles, to give their opinions, to give speeches for sometimes $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, stood up time and again and said there's no way that Donald Trump can win. In fact, in some cases, they said it was going to be a complete blowout. But not yours truly. I kept on telling you it wasn't the case. And the reason why I knew that was the case, well, I was right, is because, like Donald Trump, I have traveled this country on the ground, in my car, on the train, meeting with the American people. I have actually taken the time to learn about what your pain is. I feel many of those pains as well, be it Obamacare, illegal immigration, education for our children, paying too much in taxes, having too much regulations on a business. The list is long. The VA not taking care of veterans. My father's a veteran. The list is long. I knew that the American people wanted a new path, one that Hillary Clinton was not going to be able to bring. I also had been to multiple Trump rallies. And when you have 10, 20, 30,000 people willing to stand in whether it's 100-degree weather or it's freezing rain, you name it, be able to stand to listen to some guy say the same thing you've heard him say time and time again, there was an enthusiasm and an energy that everybody else ignored except for people like yours truly. So what happened? They all said that stuff about the Electoral College. What happened? He won the election, and I almost nailed it exactly to the head. Fast forward. Jill Stein goes and raises all this money, millions and millions and millions of dollars for a recount. I told you, I get on an average anywhere between 6 to 8 emails per minute to the 3 different accounts I have. Most of them are usually folks like yourself sending me, can you confirm this? Or I'm afraid about what I'm seeing on this show or on this Facebook Live or on this website. Many of the names I've never even heard of before, and I don't even take time to check it out. I told you that the recount from Jill Stein was going to turn out to be a big fat zero. Don't be afraid. Don't listen to what you're hearing. And what happened? It turned out to be a big fat zero. Now it's been the electors. I have gotten the same thing from you. I'm hearing this from this person and this from this show and this from this place. And I have told you, do not worry about the electors. Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. Well, tomorrow I get to get on camera again and tell you I was right again. Here's what happens officially tomorrow. 538 people throughout the United States, electors, will go and cast their official vote. Tomorrow is really the election for all intents and purposes. They will give those votes over. Those votes will be sent in then to, by and large, it will go into Congress. On January 6th, the Congress will meet, the House and the Senate, and it will be all watched over by Vice President Biden. And they will actually do the count. And at that point, Donald J. Trump will officially be the president waiting for his inauguration. So there is still a little bit more time left on the clock that we have to get through. But I assure you, there are a few things that you will see tomorrow. You will see people try to scare the living hell out of you that there's going to be this one last second, oh my God. You will see people get on the television tomorrow, people like today, that you saw John Podesta. John Podesta, the disgraced loser, if you will, and I don't mean that on a personal basis. He's a loser. His side lost. He's a sore loser. He can't get past the fact that his candidate sucked. There's no other way of saying it. She sucked. But they want to blame everything. They want to blame the Russians. They want to blame the FBI. They want to blame everything but the fact that she sucked. And by reading those emails that were all released by WikiLeaks, we learned that not only did she suck, which we already knew, but we learned that they are scum, that they manipulate the media, that they will do anything they can to take somebody down like a Bernie Sanders or a Donald Trump. They will do anything that they possibly can to take advantage of the American people and a country that has a government that is completely asleep at the wheel for how long now? How long has Washington, D.C. been asleep? And you have paid for it. This guy had the audacity to get on television today and say that he is calling for an investigation that the Trump team was colluding with the Russians. I mean, Lord, please, when does it stop? Even tomorrow with the electors, there are electors, as you know, who have been given death threats. Many of the electors now have reached out and asked, can I please have police protection? Pennsylvania is offering statewide police protection. The electors need protection to cast a vote? It's absolutely absurd. What you're seeing is what so many of us have been saying for such a long time. We have seen over the past 6, 8, 12 months how dishonest the media is. They've been smoked out. Donald Trump has done more than just win an election. He has smoked out so many of the problems. And you know what? He didn't even do it on purpose. He didn't do it on purpose. Just a personality like his, a bull in a China store that's knocking over all the China as he's going through. He's got sharp elbows, and what happens? Nobody intimidates him, so he just keeps on going and going. He's not afraid of anything, and in doing that, he smokes out people because they can no longer hide behind lies. They could no longer make threats, and people cower away. Donald Trump doesn't cower away. Even think about this. This is a little off tangent, but think about the fact that he had El Chapo threaten him that he was going to, bounty on his life. Donald Trump didn't flinch. So every time that these guys threw a punch at Donald Trump, he threw back 5 that were even harder, and they could never take him down. And so what happened is they got smoked out, and we really understood what we always guessed was the case, that CNN and Washington Post and all these mainstream media outlets were all behind the doors doing everything they possibly could to get their Democrat Hillary Clinton to the very top, to push their agenda no matter what they had to do. And you can bet your bottom dollar, if Donald Trump was not the nominee, this would have happened to Ted Cruz. This would have happened to Mike Huckabee. This would have happened to any single person who would have won that nomination. Donald Trump just so happened to be high profile and a billionaire. That's why it seemed worse than it was. Donald Trump didn't need the media. The media needed him, and they loved him. They grabbed him every second they possibly could for their ratings, for their greed. And then when it turned out to be that he really, well, oh my God, he's really going to get the nomination, then all of a sudden they switched on him. And they did everything they possibly could to take him down, but they couldn't take him down. Not only because Donald Trump was as strong as he was, but because of you. Because you would not back down. Because you finally recognized the fact that you can say that you don't like illegal immigration. You can say that you don't want refugees coming into this country as if we're just pouring them over a country that can no longer afford this sort of thing. You stood up and said, no, I'm tired of this. We need to build a wall. Don't call me a racist. I'm not no racist. We need to build a wall. Obamacare sucks. I'm hurting. I'm feeling pain. I'm not going to sit back anymore and feel guilty about it. And that's what happened. And these guys didn't know what to do. And now they still don't know what to do. And they come up with this BS with Russia. And they want to have investigations into Russia. You lost an election because Hillary Clinton cannot find her buttocks with both hands. Hillary couldn't find honesty if it was sitting on the top of her nose. She couldn't. And so this is the situation they're in. And bottom line is, as torturous and painful and as slow going as it is, Donald Trump is going to be sworn in on January 20th, whether they like it or not. Now, here is something that you should really think about, because you look at the police protection that I just told you about. You look at the fact that there will be tomorrow, there will be people protesting, they'll be screaming, they'll doing all the other different stuff. But I want you to think about something in your own life. I always, you know this, I always like to put life, our own life experiences into these complex issues. Think about the biggest gains you've ever made in your life. Think about the biggest changes you've ever made. It could be something simple. It could be that you were heavy and you lost a ton of weight. It could be that you had cancer and had to overcome that cancer. It could be that you were dead broke and ready to claim bankruptcy. Maybe you did claim bankruptcy, but you got yourself back up. There's an old saying that says, no pain, no gain. The fundamental change, the fundamental transformation that President Barack Hussein Obama has put onto this country, he succeeded. He is a very successful president in terms of making a promise and following through on it. The effects of his promises are detrimental to all of us. Even those who don't recognize it, they're detrimental to all of us. But he was very successful in making a fundamental transformation. That being said, to get that reversed, you know how painful that's going to be? So the pain of getting the guy who we know who can get it done to the place of where he's sitting in the seat, you think it's going to be an easy task? It's going to be painful. It's like dropping 200 pounds. It's like going from bankrupt to billionaire. This isn't going to be an easy thing. But you know what? We've gotten this far. So trust me when I tell you, all these things, all these conspiracies and worries and everything else that just gets fed into you, and the fact that you're still listening to this kind of stuff, I don't care whether it's you're reading it on print or you're seeing it on a website or you're seeing it on Fox News or you're seeing it on anybody's station or just alive. Stop letting these people feed your head with fear. This man is going to be the president of the United States. Nobody is going to be able to stop it. And once it gets in there, it's all going to change. And when I talk about the kind of change, think about where our country is right now. And then you maybe when you think about where this country is, then maybe you could understand why it is that these things are happening, where electors have to ask for police assistance, where guy John Podesta's getting on television and they're actually giving him the time of day, talking about the Russians hacking. You know, the mental, before I get to the analogies I want to make, think about that. Think about what this man is saying, and everybody is buying into this crap. Even the fake news garbage that they're pulling on this Facebook stuff. They're ignoring the fact that I don't care if the Russians, if the Chinese, or if Moses hacked into John Podesta's and DNC emails. The fact of the matter is not how we got the content, but the content itself. The content itself. The Russians didn't make Hillary Clinton take money for the Clinton Foundation from countries who also fund ISIS. Okay? They didn't make her do that. They didn't make Donna Brazil hand over questions for Hillary Clinton before she was to air in a town hall. They didn't do any of that. They didn't make Hillary Clinton have her own private email server. None of this. They want to shoot the messenger instead of the message. And that's because they're in complete denial, because their system of manipulating the news, of manipulating the narrative, of manipulating people, the days of Democrats manipulating the black communities, you watch slowly but surely, it's over. The black communities are tired of it, man. You watch what the fundamental untransformation that Donald Trump is going to do with the help of the American people and the support of the American people. Think about the transition that has to be made. In this country, we used to respect and love and cherish and put our veterans and the people of this military on the highest shelf. Not anymore. The President of the United States has them down here. And instead, he's replaced them with refugees and illegal aliens. He puts more care, concern, love, and effort and money into those people than he does into the people who fought for this country, who fight for this country, right? We have more hungry children right now than we've had in decades. Decades. American kids hungry. And yet, the amount of money that we're putting into housing illegal alien children who are crossing over the border, $100 million I spent in flying these kids around the country. Imagine what would happen if we put that $100 million of tax money into American children, into education for the American kids, into feeding them and clothing them and putting them in homes. In homes, that real homes. I don't mean group homes. I mean real homes. If we started taking care of our own, think about that. Think about how unbelievably we have changed. Israel used to be our best friend. Now what are we doing? The President of the United States has funded Iran with hundreds of billions of dollars and says, yeah, don't worry about it. You could build your nuclear weapons soon. Do you get this? Iran just had a whole event where they invited and hosted leaders of the Taliban. This is who Obama's cutting deals with. So when you look at all of this, when you look at what we have to do to switch it, oh, it's going to be painful. Of course it's going to be painful. And that's why this is so painful. This is why you have to go through this crap with the electors, and you had to go through the recounts, and you had to go through the BS of them telling you and trying to sell the American people that don't even bother showing up. There's no way he could win the Electoral College. They're going to tell you every single thing that he wants to do can't be done. They're going to tell you every single person that he has put into a position of strength is either a white nationalist, a white racist, or a hater, or they're going to tell you that they kick dogs when nobody's looking, that they beat women, that they hate blacks, that they curse Latinos. I mean, every single last thing they can possibly do, including putting crazy skits on Saturday Night Live. They will do it. And yet, you, me, Donald J. Trump, the American people, we're going to continue to prevail. And that's the way it's going to be, whether they like it or not. So they're going to have a choice. Either you accept the fact that we're going back to where American exceptionalism and taking care of our own first is the number one priority, or you could just move on. But either way, you're going to lose. And that's the way it's going to be. And that's why when he says we're going to make America great again, you and I look at it a certain way. That scares the living daylights out of them, because they've worked very hard and very long to get things as dysfunctional as they are today. Because let me tell you something. The top people, the elites, they make their most money. They obtain their most power when chaos rules. Understand I said that to you. Understand that I said that to you. When chaos rules, people with power and people at the top get the most power and the most money. Remember that. Nobody ever talks about that. And maybe I'll extrapolate that on that in another time. What do I mean? I'll give you some more examples. But that's it for now. I've taken enough of your time on a Sunday night. Very quickly, just want to let you know, 15 minutes ago, Apple approved beta testing for our app. And the beta testing officially starts tomorrow morning. And then Android is 2 days later. Yes, sirree. And if you haven't already, send an email at wetrustdml@gmail.com. Just put app at the top, and then in the body put in iPhone or Android, wherever you are. We will get in touch with you over the next couple of weeks, and you'll be able to get onto the app, and believe me, you want to talk about the next movement, the new media platform that we're creating, that's the next movement, where the people basically are going to dictate what it is, what's real and what's fake news. That's the way it's going to work. Okay? That's the way it's going to work. Also, if you guys got your DVD, I know not everybody here has gotten DVDs, so this is for the people who got DVDs. And if you haven't gotten your DVDs yet, send an email to tv360dvd@gmail.com. Ask for a tracking number. We'll get that to you. Okay? Promised you're going to get them before Christmas. And that's it, right? We did. Oh, and then the last thing, the alerts. If you're not on the alerts yet, you got to get on the alerts. All right? The alerts, 40404. And then the text message is follow spacebar at Real Dennis Lynch. Not realdennislynch.com. All right? It's follow spacebar at Real Dennis Lynch. 40404. And you'll be on the alerts, and you'll know everything you need to know when you need to know it. And as far as that goes, my son just walked in. It's time for us to watch a movie. All right? And, there will be no 11:30 walk and talk tomorrow. I will be traveling, and I will not have good reception. We will come to you tomorrow night. All right? So, that being said, until tomorrow, God bless you. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. Please hit the share button, so more people know that they have nothing to worry about for tomorrow. Okay? And may God bless the 538 electors. May they be safe. Over and out.